right, Throwdown competitors, we have our last event, Up the Chimney gymnastics ladder. So my intent when I programmed this workout was to keep the gymnastic volume low, have it accessible at that type of volume to most people, even if you're not great at gymnastics capacity. You know, you can do the movement, but high reps really tend to be a struggle for you. The reps are pretty low, right? It's 25 reps on each of the gymnastics movements. It's 50 reps each on the box jump overs. Now I programmed it to get rest between the gymnastics movements as well. So you start low, 1 rep, 2 reps, 3 reps, but you have the box jumps in between. So you're also giving your upper body a bit of rest while you're doing the gymnastics. Now it's formatted where you have to split the work. And the reason I did that is because the volume is low, right? I don't want one person doing 1 rep and the other person doing the majority of the reps through the whole workout, right? Just because one person is really good at gymnastics. This is one where I de-escalated the volume, or get the volume low so you could share the work, right? And it's just a follow the leader type workout where you just try to be as smooth and as effective as you can with your capacity. Some people may be able to be unbroken in the gymnastics movement. Some people may have to break it up. It's just the way it is. One person's probably going to be a bit stronger than the other person on this workout, but you're working as a team. All right, so you start the workout. It is 1 rep of each, or it starts at 2, but because you got to split it, you can think of it as 1 rep each. And it starts with the handstand push-up. So if I start first, I'm going to kick up. I'm going to do my handstand push-up. I come down. My partner kicks up. They do their handstand push-up. They come down. So just a little bit of efficiency tip. I'm not waiting for my partner to finish their handstand push-up. When I'm done my handstand push-up, I'm over to my box and I'm ready to start my box jump. Well, that box jump can't be completed until that person gets full lockout and extension. That's the end of the rep, right? So as soon as the judge signifies that that's a good rep, then that person can start their box jump. All right, so that's kind of how that works. Now let's talk the logistics of a handstand push-up. Handstand push-up has to start in a full extended handstand. So you have to kick up, you have to show a good handstand before you descend down into your first rep, right? So you can't just kind of kick into a headstand. Handstand, lower down into headstand onto the ab mat before you do your first rep. Okay, so I'll just get this box out of the way for now. But if I was doing it here, I have to show my judge that I'm showing a good, complete handstand first. Good, I'm ready to go down into my first rep. Okay? Now, some people may not have their kipping handstand push-up. If you are doing strict, this is where it can get a little tricky, you can't just touch a couple hair fibers onto that ab mat. You have to put a dent. We have to see weight put on that head, okay? Oftentimes in class, people are working towards getting it, and I'm not a stickler. I'll call people out a little bit. But if I grab this ab mat, I'm gonna give you a close-up. All right, imagine me being upside down. I'm descending down into that handstand push-up. I can't just feel a couple hairs touch that ab mat and call that a rep, right? I have to physically put a dent in that mat. That mat makes good contact with my head. That judge has to see that you've put a depression in that ab mat and made full good contact before you can press out and hit that next rep. Now, kipping people, obviously, you're doing a complete headstand, so there's no issue there. But for any strict handstand push-up people, we're definitely seeing you depress this mat and put a little bit of a dent in it, all right? As far as the top of the rep, I'm not going to demo it over here just because I think it's easier to show and describe here. The top of the rep to complete is full extension and shoulders in line with the rest of the body, right? We can't just press up and end it here and have straight arms, just like a dumbbell movement or a barbell movement. We have to show good full lockout and extension. So when you're doing that handstand push-up, you can't just go there and call that a good rep. You have to come through and show good full extension before you go into that next rep. Okay? So make sure that you don't just do this. That straight arm doesn't count. You have to get this angle opened up, just like a barbell or a dumbbell rep when we move those, of that full extension at the top. You can't widen your hands too much. We're going to have a 3-foot rule. So the 3-foot rule is basically one of the puzzle mats, hands within the puzzle mat, or I'll have some lines. Haven't quite decided on the logistics of that, but there'll be markers of where your hands have to be in contact with, okay? In open rules, doesn't mean your hands have to be within that, it means your hands have to be touching that. What is that meant to do? It's meant to negate excess shortening of range of motion, right? Some people would try to widen their hands too wide, so they're barely doing any range of motion. So by bringing and making a requirement to have your hands in close enough, you have to have some decent range of motion within the handstand push-up. And then your fingertips have to be within 10 inches of the wall, right? So you can't be too far away from the wall. There's gonna be a 10-inch line this way, as far as distance away from the wall, and then there'll be a width that you have to stay within. It's not a big deal. Most people do that within their workouts in class anyway, type thing, but just to be aware of it. So that is the logistics of the handstand push-up. Box jump over. So we have a box, we have a 2-foot takeoff, we have a 2-foot landing. You can get off the box any way you want on the other side, just be careful. Yeah, so you're starting here, you're landing, you can do it laterally, you can do it facing. What you can't do is leap up. Okay, you can't go up to the box like that. It has to be a 2-foot takeoff and landing. Okay, you can stay low, you don't have to stand all the way up. That's a box jump overs. You're okay to stay low. You would step off and then 2-foot jump, repeat. Right? So in that first round, one person does one, gets out of the way. The other person does the other one, gets out of the way, type thing. Step overs, if you're having to modify, obviously pretty easy. Step up, show both feet on the box, step down. Right? What you couldn't do is just step over and do that, right? You have to get both feet up on the box before you can step down off it, type thing. You can also jump right over the box if you want to go for that. Just be careful, be very competent in it if you're going to do it. It does save a bit of time. It's low-ish volume, so you may want to do it, but just be careful if you do. Yeah, so you just get directly over the box. That counts as well. So that's that. Now we have our gymnastics. Oh, I should probably go over the hand release push-up for those athletes that need to modify the hand release push-up. Now this is going to be tough, and I'm going to be on the judges to no rep this because I probably shouldn't even had push-ups in the workout, but I just, I wanted to keep it a gymnastics movement and not a dumbbell movement, but they're tough. If you do it correctly, hand release push-ups are no joke. And the reason it's hand release, just to guarantee full range of motion, right? Getting that chest touching the ground. But that being said, it also makes it tough to judge because people peel out of it, and that's the biggest thing we see. And I'm going to show you a peel out that would be a no rep, okay? So what has to happen is you have to stay tight, right? You can't think of it like we do burpees. You can't roll down and peel out of it. Everything has to move in unison. So you would get set at the top of your push-up. The rep would start at the top. You would descend down, hips and shoulders moving together. You get yourself on the ground. You have to show hands lifting off the floor. So the judges have to see the slight little lift of the hands, replant the hands. Now this is where things can go wrong. I cannot move my shoulders without moving my hips. So this cannot happen. That is a peel up. Right? What has to happen is this. Okay. Do you see? I'm basically bracing my core. My hips are coming up at the exact same time as my shoulders. This is a rep. This is not a rep. Okay. You distinctly saw my shoulders move first. Now my hips caught up. I'm reducing the body weight that I'm pressing up. Maybe you try to fix it at the end. That's still a no rep. Right? So it has to, if you're in doubt, move the hips up first, then press. Hips off the ground, so you push in with the toes, get the quads off the ground, and then hips come up. They're no joke, so I'm gonna really reinforce to the judges, we need to see that. And there'll be no reps for sure on that, because when people get tired, they will be hitting that peel and then recovery after which is a distinct no rep on a hand release push-up. All right? All right, so we'll get into the pulling. The scaled movement, chin over the bar pull-up. So you can do strict, you can do kipping. We just have to see the chin over the bar, right? So if you're gonna do strict, and some people will, if they're strong, it's probably even quicker than kipping. You'd be here, and you have to distinctly show chin over the bar and down, full extension. That rep has to start full extension, and you have to be hanging. So there's no feet touching the floor to start the rep. You have to be either jumping into your kip, or you have to be jumping into a hang, showing full extension, and then hitting your reps, okay? The kipping, same thing. You jump into the kip, you show chin distinctly over the height of the bar, and then down. If you're doing singles, the rep is done when the chin is over the bar, so you can drop. So if you jump singlet up, it's okay to drop down. The rep is completed once the chin is above the bar. Chest to bars. You're making contact with that bar below the clavicle line, okay? So here's my clavicle right here. So I have to make contact below my clavicle here. And there has to be contact, okay? So, some people might be doing strict on this. I doubt it, maybe Paul. But most of us will be kipping. So if you're just getting them, you may be a one at a time type person. So what I suggest is a super aggressive kip. So get as much height as you can. You arch, you lean back, you get those elbows behind the back, and you make contact. And you're just gonna do one and drop down. And then, you know, as the reps go up, you're gonna do singles, right? So it'd be here, you jump, kip, pull, make that touch, and then you're done, right? For the people that are cycling, well, if you can cycle, you've been doing these for a while, but you have to distinctly show that bar touching below the clavicle every rep on that. The way the workout works, you can't absorb more of the reps, as I had said. So if that person is a bit slower, you can't jump in and do the reps. You have to wait for them to get whatever rep scheme they have to complete before you get to continue. And the transition to the box off the pull-up, you can go into that box jump as soon as that judge gives a good rep on that last rep that they're supposed to complete. So as soon as my clavicle touches, my partner can be ready and doing their box jumps, getting into that next round. All right. The format of the workout, you have a 10-minute window. Scaled athletes have 10 minutes to get this done. There may be some time caps. So if you're time capped out, your score will be the 10 minutes plus missed reps equal seconds added onto your time. Sorry, hopefully that heater isn't going to drown out there. And then if you beat the time cap, you earn extra seconds for your RX athletes to complete their workout. All right, so 20-minute total time cap on this thing. If you beat 10 minutes, you just earned your RX athletes some extra time to get done their workout. If you don't, you're going to have a 10-minute time plus missed reps equals seconds, so 10, 22 if you missed 22 reps in this workout type thing, if that makes sense, okay? So as far as the scoring, if both both scaled and RX cap out on this thing, so scaled athletes take to the 10-minute mark, they stop the workout, RX jumps right in, they start their workout, they also cap out, is gonna be 10 plus missed reps, plus 10 minutes plus missed reps in seconds for a total time. Right? If you're able to beat the time cap on both sections, so scale beats time cap, RX beats time caps, you're just gonna have a total time under the 20-minute mark, if that makes sense. So hopefully I'm clearing that up as far as scaling. Your captains will be entering the scores, so you don't gotta think about that too much. The captains will be in tune with how to enter scoring, and the judges will be recording your score. So just to wrap your head around it a little bit more as athletes as well. I don't think I'm missing anything there. Oh, the jumping. If you have to modify the kipping pull-up and have to do jumping, just bear with me. I got some gear off the screen here. This will be quite a bit low for me, but you have a surface that you jump off. Now, to keep people on an even playing field, and these are kind of openish standards, you're getting 6 inches to the top of your head to whatever pull-up bar you're using, right? So if I was using this one, obviously this is going to be too short for me, but just for ease of showing you this, you know, imagine this being a bit higher bar. I'm gonna have these sticks available for anybody that needs to modify. You have to be standing up tall and have room at the top of your head and to the bar at least 6 inches below the height. That's gonna put the bar about middle forearm for you. So we'll help you set that up. Your team can help you figure out that. So yeah, it takes a bit of adjusting. You get a red box and some plates on top of it, or maybe just some plates on the floor, something like that to set up that standard for you. And then the same rules apply. You have to show full extension at the bottom. So a really good thing to do is just that stretch through, just like a kip, and then jump chin above the bar, stretch through. You have to show that full extension of the arms. So you can't just be doing this. I want to see a good stretch and then through for that next stretch. I think that covers everything. Probably missing some things, but doing the best I can with what's coming up in my head. Again, I'm gonna have handstand push-up stations kind of set with lines and have it all organized the best I can, so you won't have to think about that too much. All right, that is event 3, up the chimney.